Before you ever got your first paycheck, Social Security was already quietly shaping your future. It's not just a line on your pay stub or something only retirees care about. It's one of the most important financial safety nets in America. And yet, most people don't fully understand how it works until they desperately need it. In this video, we're pulling back the curtain on what Social Security actually is, where it came from, and how it affects nearly every American at every stage of life. If you've ever wondered why that tax gets taken out of your paycheck, or whether you'll ever get that money back, you're in the right place. Social Security was born out of one of the darkest periods in American history, the Great Depression. In the 1930s, unemployment was soaring, banks were collapsing, and elderly Americans in particular were suffering without any form of financial security. In response, President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed the Social Security Act into law in 1935. The idea was revolutionary: to create a system where working Americans contributed a portion of their earnings into a national fund, and in return, they would receive support when they could no longer work due to old age, disability, or death. It wasn't just about giving out money. It was about restoring dignity, protecting families, and giving people peace of mind about the future. Over time, the program expanded far beyond just retirement. Today, it is a massive, multi-layered program that touches the lives of almost every American. Whether you're a young worker just starting out or a senior citizen collecting benefits, at the center of it all is the U.S. Social Security Administration, or SSA. This federal agency is responsible for managing the entire program, from collecting contributions and maintaining earnings records to calculating benefits and distributing checks. The SSA operates independently and has become one of the most efficient administrative bodies in the government, handling millions of transactions every month with remarkable accuracy. But let's talk about what Social Security actually offers, because it's far more than just retirement money. There are 4 main categories of benefits, and understanding them is key to appreciating the system's true value. The most familiar benefit is retirement. This is the payout most people think of when they hear Social Security. Once you've worked and paid into the system long enough, typically at least 10 years, you become eligible to receive monthly payments when you reach retirement age. This age varies depending on when you were born, but the idea is the same. Social Security replaces a portion of your income when you stop working, providing a financial foundation for your later years. It's not meant to be your only source of income, but for many Americans, especially those without savings or pensions, it's absolutely essential. Next is disability benefits, and this is where Social Security starts to show just how powerful and life-changing it can be. If you become unable to work due to a serious physical or mental condition, and that condition is expected to last at least a year or result in death, you may qualify for Social Security Disability Insurance, ESSDI. These benefits can provide monthly income and access to Medicare even before retirement age. For millions of Americans, this is a lifeline that keeps them afloat when life takes an unexpected turn. Then there are survivors' benefits. These often go unnoticed until tragedy strikes. If a worker dies, Social Security provides financial assistance to their family, spouses, children, or even dependent parents. This includes monthly payments to widows and widowers, especially those raising children, as well as benefits for children under 18 or disabled adult children. It's a heartbreaking topic, but one that reveals the deeper humanity behind the program. Social Security isn't just about individuals. It's about protecting families from financial ruin in the face of loss. Lastly, there's Supplemental Security Income, or SSI. While it's managed by the Social Security Administration, SSI is technically a separate program. It provides cash assistance to elderly, blind, or disabled individuals who have little or no income. Unlike other Social Security benefits, SSI is not based on your work history or the taxes you've paid. Instead, It's a need-based program designed to help the most vulnerable members of society meet basic needs for food, clothing, and shelter. What's fascinating is how interconnected these benefits are with everyday life. You might be 25 and think Social Security has nothing to do with you yet. But if you got into an accident tomorrow and couldn't work, SSDI could be your only source of income. Or maybe you have aging parents who rely on their retirement benefits. Or perhaps you were raised by a single parent who received survivor's benefits after your other parent passed away. These aren't just abstract policies. They are deeply personal, and they ripple through generations. Another point that's worth emphasizing is that Social Security is earned. It's not a handout or a government giveaway. You pay into it with every paycheck. You invest in it over decades. It's a form of social insurance, and the benefits you and your family can receive are based on that investment. That's part of why it's remained popular and resilient through countless political battles. It belongs to the people who paid into it. This system has its flaws and faces real financial challenges in the future. But its core idea remains powerful: shared responsibility for shared security. Now let's dive into how this system is funded, how you qualify, and what really happens to the money you put in. If you've ever questioned whether Social Security will be there for you, you won't want to miss this part. Social Security isn't some mysterious pool of government money you magically dip into once you hit a certain age. It's a system you actively pay into throughout your working life, and whether you realize it or not, each paycheck you've earned has helped build your future benefits. This part of Social Security is both straightforward and layered with nuance. Understanding how you qualify for benefits, how contributions work, and how your eventual payout is calculated will help you better plan for what you might receive and why it matters. The foundation of the Social Security system is built on a funding mechanism that's both simple and powerful: payroll taxes. These are formally known as FICA taxes, which stands for the Federal Insurance Contributions Act. Every time you get paid, a percentage of your earnings, currently 6.2%, is taken out and sent directly to the Social Security Trust Fund. Your employer matches that amount with another 6.2%. If you're self-employed, you pay both halves yourself, totaling 12.4%. These taxes aren't optional, and they don't go into a personal savings account with your name on it. Instead, they go into a massive fund used to pay current beneficiaries, retirees, people with disabilities, and survivors. In other words, today's workers are helping to support today's recipients, just as future workers will one day help support you. This system of funding is known as a pay-as-you-go structure. It means that the taxes collected from current workers are immediately used to pay the benefits of those currently receiving Social Security. It's not an investment fund in the traditional sense. There is, however, a trust fund that holds any surplus revenue in U.S. Treasury securities, which are considered extremely safe. But ultimately, Social Security is a shared contract between generations. You contribute during your working years with the understanding that the system will be there when you need it. Now let's talk about how you actually qualify for benefits. It's not automatic. To be eligible for Social Security retirement or disability benefits, you need to earn what are called work credits. You accumulate these credits by working in a job that pays into the Social Security system, typically through W-2 employment or self-employment that reports taxable income. As of today, you earn one work credit for every $1,810 you make, up to a maximum of 4 credits per year. To qualify for most benefits, you generally need at least 40 credits, which is the equivalent of 10 years of work. But it's not just about the number of years. Your age and the timing of when you apply also matter. For retirement benefits, your eligibility starts at age 62. But this is considered early retirement and will result in a reduced benefit. Full retirement age depends on the year you were born, anywhere from 66 to 67 for most people currently in the workforce. If you wait beyond that, up until age 70, your benefits increase due to delayed retirement credits. So not only do you need to work long enough to earn the credits, but when you choose to claim those benefits, has a significant impact on the size of your monthly check. Disability benefits have their own rules. If you become disabled at a young age, you may need fewer credits because you had less time to work. For example, someone who becomes disabled in their 30s might only need 20 credits earned in the past 10 years. This flexible formula helps ensure that younger workers who suffer unexpected medical conditions can still receive support. Eligibility also varies based on the type of benefit. Survivor's benefits, for instance, can be paid to a widow or widower, children, or even dependent parents of a deceased worker, even if that worker didn't accumulate the full 40 credits. In some cases, if the deceased worked at least 1.5 years in the 3 years before their death, their family may still qualify for certain benefits. The rules are complicated, but they reflect a balance between contributions and compassion. Once you've qualified, the next big question is, how much will you actually get? This is where it gets a bit technical. The Social Security Administration doesn't just randomly assign you a benefit amount. It uses a detailed formula based on your earnings history, adjusted for inflation, to determine your monthly payment. At the heart of this process is a calculation known as your Average Indexed Monthly Earnings, or AIME. Here's how it works. First, the SSA looks at up to 35 of your highest earning years. If you haven't worked that many years, zeros are averaged in for the missing ones, which can lower your benefit. Each year's income is indexed to account for changes in the average wage level, which essentially adjusts your past earnings to their equivalent in today's dollars. This is crucial because a dollar earned in 1995 had a very different purchasing power than a dollar earned in 2025. Once the SSA calculates your AIME, they apply a formula to it that determines your primary insurance amount, or PIA. This is the base amount you'll receive if you claim your benefits at full retirement age. The formula is progressive, meaning it's designed to replace a higher percentage of income for lower earners than for high earners. As of now, the PIA is calculated using 3 bend points, where portions of your OOM are multiplied by different percentages. For example, the first segment might be multiplied by 90%, the second by 32%, and the third by 15%. This ensures that lower-income workers get a proportionally larger benefit relative to their earnings than high-income workers. Your final benefit amount also depends on when you decide to start receiving payments. Claiming before full retirement age permanently reduces your monthly check, sometimes by as much as 30%. Waiting past your full retirement age, on the other hand, increases your benefit by up to 8% per year, up until age 70. This flexibility allows people to tailor their Social Security strategy based on their health, financial needs, and other retirement income sources. It's worth noting that Social Security benefits are designed to be inflation-resistant. Each year, recipients may receive a cost of living adjustment, COLA, based on changes in the Consumer Price Index. This helps protect your purchasing power as prices for food, housing, and health care rise over time. The COLA can vary significantly from year to year depending on economic conditions, but it's a crucial part of keeping Social Security benefits relevant and useful as time goes on. Also, while your benefit is based on your own earnings, there are scenarios where you can receive benefits based on someone else's record. For example, spouses who never worked or who earned significantly less than their partners may be eligible to receive up to 50% of their spouse's full benefit. This is especially important in households where one person stayed home to raise children or care for family. Divorced spouses may also qualify under certain conditions, as long as the marriage lasted at least 10 years. Understanding how you qualify and contribute to Social Security helps demystify one of the most important government programs in existence. It shows you that your paycheck deductions are building towards something real. Every work credit earned Every year of taxable income and every delay in claiming benefits all shape what Social Security will eventually mean for you. It's a system that rewards long-term participation while also providing a safety net when life throws unexpected challenges your way. The key is knowing how it works, so you can make smart decisions about your future. Now let's talk about when and how to claim benefits. When it comes to claiming Social Security benefits, timing is everything. It's not just about reaching a certain birthday and cashing in. It's about understanding how your choices today ripple through the rest of your financial life. Claim too early, and you might leave money on the table for years to come. Wait too long, and you could miss out on valuable income you need now. The decision isn't just mathematical, it's deeply personal, tied to your health, lifestyle, career, and future plans. The earliest age you can start receiving Social Security retirement benefits is 62. For many people, this feels like a long-awaited milestone. It marks a psychological turning point, a chance to finally enjoy the benefits you've spent decades paying into. But the Social Security Administration doesn't reward early birds. Claiming at 62 means your monthly checks will be permanently reduced. That reduction can be substantial, up to 30% less than what you'd receive if you waited until full retirement age. Full retirement age, or FRA, depends on your birth year. For most people retiring today, that's either 66 or 67. Claiming at your FRA means you get your full, unreduced benefit, the exact amount you've earned based on your lifetime earnings and work history. But if you choose to delay benefits past your full retirement age, your monthly checks increase. For each year you wait up to age 70, your benefit grows by roughly 8%. This increase is called a delayed retirement credit, and it can add up to a significant financial advantage if you live a long life. Choosing between early, full, or delayed retirement isn't just a question of when you want to stop working. It's a strategy decision that affects how much money you'll receive for the rest of your life. Taking benefits early might make sense if you're in poor health, if you don't expect to live into your 80s or 90s, or if you need the income immediately to cover living expenses. Some people choose early benefits to help bridge the gap between retirement and another income source, such as a pension, or simply because they want to enjoy their money while they're still young and active. On the other hand, waiting to claim has clear upsides. The difference between a reduced early benefit and a maximized benefit at age 70 can mean hundreds of dollars more per month. Over the course of a 20 or 30-year retirement, that adds up to tens of thousands of dollars. Delaying benefits can also provide greater financial security later in life, especially if other savings begin to dwindle or inflation starts to bite. For married couples, waiting can also increase survivor benefits for the spouse who outlives the other. A higher benefit for the primary earner means a higher survivor check if that person dies first. Of course, not everyone has the luxury of waiting. Health, job loss, or caregiving responsibilities can force people into early retirement, whether they're financially ready or not. That's why it's so important to understand not just the trade-offs of different claiming ages, but also how your life circumstances interact with the rules. Some people continue to work while receiving Social Security. This is allowed, but if you're below full retirement age, your benefits may be temporarily reduced if your earnings exceed a certain threshold. In 2025, for example, if you earn more than $22,320 while receiving early benefits, the SSA will withhold $1 for every $2 you earn above the limit. The good news is that once you reach full retirement age, these reductions stop, and your benefit is recalculated to give back what was withheld. When you've made your decision about when to claim, the next step is actually applying for benefits, a process that, while bureaucratic, is more straightforward than many expect. The Social Security Administration has made strides in modernizing its systems, so applying is now easier than ever. Most people can complete the entire process online at the official SSA website. You can also apply over the phone or make an appointment at a local Social Security office if you prefer a face-to-face interaction. To apply, you'll need several important documents. First and foremost, your Social Security number. You'll also need proof of your age, such as a birth certificate or passport. If you've served in the military, you'll want to have your military service papers, especially if your service was before 1968. You'll need to provide W-2 forms or self-employment tax returns from the previous year to verify your recent earnings. If you're married, divorced, or widowed, marriage and divorce documents might be necessary, especially if you're applying for spousal or survivor benefits. The application also asks for information about where you've worked and how much you earned over the years, so it's helpful to have a record of your employment history nearby. Timing your application is also important. The SSA recommends applying about 4 months before you want benefits to begin. That gives them time to process your paperwork and set up your payment schedule. You choose the month you want your benefits to start, but keep in mind the benefits are paid a month behind. For example, if you start in June, you'll get your first check in July. Once you're approved, your benefits are deposited directly into your bank account each month. You'll receive a benefit statement outlining your monthly amount, how it was calculated, and when to expect payments. The SSA also provides an online account where you can monitor your benefits, change direct deposit details, or download your annual Social Security statement. But applying isn't a one-time and done deal for everyone. Some people initially file and then later decide to withdraw their application. The SSA allows you to withdraw your application within 12 months of first claiming benefits, once in your lifetime. This can be a strategic move if your financial situation changes, or if you regret claiming early and want to wait longer. However, there's a catch. You must repay all the benefits you've received so far. This is essentially a do-over option, but it's not for everyone. There's also something called the voluntary suspension rule. Once you reach full retirement age, you can choose to suspend your benefits. Why would anyone do that? Suspending allows your benefit to grow through delayed retirement credits even after you've started claiming. This can be useful if your plans change and you no longer need the income immediately. Ultimately, when and how you claim your Social Security benefits should be a decision made with careful thought and ideally with the guidance of a financial planner or retirement advisor. It's one of the most significant financial decisions many Americans will ever make. The difference between claiming at 62 and waiting until 70 could mean the difference between scraping by and enjoying a more secure, comfortable retirement. And yet, the decision isn't always black and white. It's influenced by everything from your health to your savings, your job, your marital status, your life goals, and your sense of financial confidence. What matters is that you understand the mechanics behind the system, the benefits of waiting, the costs of rushing in, and the practical steps involved in applying, so that your decision is not just timely, but truly informed.